And one of the challenges we had in doing all this is there's basically 6 heads in this area along here, and it's just a small little area. Now the pine trees, what we've read and learned is that this can all just be mulched. At the moment we don't have a way to get rid of all our green waste, so I'm just piling it for now. But it turns out the pine trees don't necessarily need like a heavy daily watering. You can just mulch them. So we're probably going to get a wood chipper and start mulching. We have a little storage area I'll show in a minute that we're going to eventually I don't know what we're going to clean that out and make it a composting area. And then some of the stuff, this tree looks nice. It just literally fell down. It was here when we moved in. So there's actually a curb. It's so overgrown because the guy who lived here before us did nothing to take care of it. I've slowly been clearing this away, this whole little area over here. We want to keep this nice sort of cover between our neighbors, who are really great, fun people, but we both like the privacy that the cover gives us, especially when it's filled in. So we got some work to do here, but we eventually want to get this ground showing, this nice border that was existing. It's so overgrown. And then an interesting story, when we got the keys to the house, we closed on the 19th of April, I believe, and my wife got the keys. We got them on a Saturday, I believe. She came up maybe a Friday, I think, and we had there's all watering in here, and they're like these old style, they pop up out of the ground, and they're these really old heads right here, and they basically they break, and when you go try to rethread them, because they're so old, there's so much calcium and mineral deposits along the threads, you can't get new heads on without, the plastic ones break. They won't, and they just leak. So we're going to replace all that. We're trying to figure out how we're going to trench this area, because there's so many trees in here that there's roots everywhere. So we're not really sure this area. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going about it, but we basically, when we moved in, we had a geyser over here just coming up out of the ground. We never addressed it. We just never watered. We watered this basically by hand last summer just to get it some water and keep it alive. And it's so old, this system. There's no electric. The valves up here are actually over in this little box, which this doghouse is going to. It's filthy, disgusting in there. This box has these old manual valves, and we're going to replace all these, and none of these valves are going to be here, although we're going to run a spigot up here. But all these zones will be run off a valve box that's right over there. So over in this way, we've got a strawberry patch that gives these tiny little strawberries. It doesn't really yield much. I mean, we didn't even know it was a strawberry patch when we moved in, and I think it's so over-weeded and there's so much decay in there. It needs to be cleaned out, and it gave us a couple bowls of strawberries last year. They're like, I don't know, they're like 1.5 inches if at best. But we're not sure what we're doing with this area. I think in the long term, we'd like to put a bigger like 1-car garage up here, but have it more as a work area, studio, or place to put the lawnmower or whatever. And then this area eventually will be our composting area. We actually have to clean it all out. It was I don't even know what's in there and what's under there. And you can see there's all kinds of weeds growing back here. And there's just so much work on this property, but I wanted to start cataloging it. Just to show what the changes are over the years, just so I remember how much work I did. I mean, you can see like this is falling apart. And then there's bees in this shed here that we actually got rid of most of them last year, but they're wasps. They're not regular bees. They're yellow jackets or whatever, and they're stinging us. And I don't need that. I want to walk around to the back, and I'll show you the next level. So we're going to go up this way. And this old swing set, so this is going on. I'm making this video during the COVID-19 quarantine. I'm still working a little bit at the base, but mainly I'm home now teleworking, as I think Utah's due to peak in the next 2 weeks. So for me, I like to work out pretty regularly. It's a great stress relief. It's just something I've always done. And I was gonna tear this down last year, and now I'm using it for pull-ups, and I can use the bars. I stretch on them. I can do like horizontal pull-ups using this cross beam right here. So it's turned out to be a pretty kind of cool side thing. Anyway, we've got this little rock wall back here. It's really cool. I've pulled a bunch of them off. I was debating about how to address this. What we want to do long term is we're not addressing this one this year. I'm just gonna pull these heads out. They're not gonna get water. The newer heads, I can just put them on on this side of the shed along here, and it'll get, and then along the wall, and it'll get this whole area. But we're going to eventually bring in some dirt to shore up this wall that looks like that's one of the features of the rock, is it's holding that concrete in place and holding that wall up. There's been some erosion, so we're gonna bring in several yards, however many it takes, of dirt to get that covered up. I'm gonna pull the rock wall out, and then we're gonna have a little bit of dirt. We're gonna plant some grapes along here. So eventually, over time, this whole back fence, I'll probably have to strengthen it along the top, but eventually this back fence will have grapes covered. And if I took a walk down this little walking path behind the house, there's some houses down there, they're more mature and they've got that. That's where we came up with the idea. And the nice thing is it grows on either side. So we actually picked some grapes and took some seeds, and we're going to try to use those to grow. And neither one of us knows much about that though, so we have to learn. I don't know if we can or not, and this is an apricot tree, or the people up here call it apricot. I'm from the East Coast, so I say apricot. They call them apricots. Most of them went to waste last year, but we got a pretty nice yield. Apparently the ants like them, so a lot of them got eaten, but I've read about some means to put some oil you can do around the base, and the insects don't like it because it's like glass for them. I'm not sure, it's something from Africa, I forget what it's called. We're gonna try, but we're gonna look into it. But either way, I gotta trim it up a little, and then this year we're gonna put some tarps down, and we're gonna try to get those apricots and make some apricot wine and other apricot related foods and whatever, jams and whatnot. I probably don't eat some. I like it. I like them just as a fruit too, without any jam or anything. So a nice feature of this house too, this is our double gate. Years ago, this property, this was a public road right here, and you could bring your boats or your whatever and store them back here, and I'm sure that's what this area was. We're going to probably border this eventually and make this all rock. I'm assuming we're going to have a trailer. We'll figure out how to get back here, but this is just a nice walking path. There's a peach orchard down that way, so we take the dog and we walk her that way. And what's nice is you can see I've got these big homes behind me. I can't really build anymore over here, and that's just a canal right here. So I think that's what the secondary flows through. It's some kind of irrigation canal, and that thing goes for like literally tens of miles. I don't know where it starts and where it ends. So, but this is a nice little walking path, and there's always people jogging back here during the day and just going for a walk with their kids, with their pets. We've seen dirt bikes on here. We've seen mountain bikes. Just nice having something that we can just take the dog and walk her. Although 16 now, she's not getting so far, so we walk her pretty limited, but it gets her mentally in a better place. So anyway, this is just an intro. I thought I'd make a quick video, and if you're interested, thanks for viewing. And that's my yard, and I'm going to make some more as we progress and get the trencher and start doing this thing, and ideally I can get my life back and stop having irrigation wars all summer. Thanks for watching.